Where do you stand on the ladder of life? Some people spend their entire youth climbing the corporate ladders of multinational corporations, but in the darkest corners of the underworld another hierarchy exists, more brutal, bloodier, and with no way out for anyone involved. Welcome to today's special video, Journey into Darkness, 9 Levels of Evolution in MS-13, the most brutal criminal organization on the planet. According to FBI reports, MS-13 is not just a gang, it is a dark army with over 10,000 members in the United States and more than 70,000 members globally. The survival rate to reach the highest level is under 1%. Today we will analyze the path from an anonymous child to a prison legend to understand why this organization possesses such terrifying power of manipulation and control. This is not just a crime story, it is a lesson about mob psychology, extreme discipline, and the highest price of absolute power. Imagine you are a 14-year-old boy living in a poor neighborhood in Long Island or Los Angeles. While other kids worry about homework, you must worry about which street to walk down to avoid being attacked. Here, MS-13 controls every corner of your daily life. You see the older brothers, the veteranos, wearing blue and white, showing off money, authority tattoos, and most importantly, respect. Your mother works 2 service jobs but still cannot afford the rent. At school you are invisible to everyone around you. But when those men walk down the street, even the police look at them with a different and more cautious gaze. You start hanging around the street corner where they gather. You never ask to join, that would be disrespectful. You simply exist nearby. Soon you become a Pato, a lookout. Your mission is simple but full of pressure. If you see a police car, you send a signal. If you see rival gang members, you warn them immediately. You run errands, buy cigarettes, and carry small mysterious packages without ever asking what is inside. At this level you earn nothing. It is a test of loyalty and silence. Statistics say 60% of Patos fail. But if you keep your mouth shut at school and refuse money from the police, you pass the first psychological test. One night after months of loyalty, a local thug named Sneaky pulls you into a dark alley. Want in? You nod. That is when the checkio begins. In MS-13 culture, the number 13 is sacred. You stand inside a circle of 13 members. For 13 seconds they rush in. The rules are simple: do not fight back, do not run, and do not cry. Second 1, a punch hits your jaw. Second 5, kicks crash into your ribs. Second 10, blood fills your mouth. Second 13, everything stops. Sneaky pulls you up, hugs you, and whispers, "Welcome home." From that moment your birth name disappears forever. You receive a street name, Flaco, Smiley, or Diablo. It becomes your new identity. You still have no money, but now you have something called family. One rule burns into your mind: blood in, blood out. Blood to enter. Life to leave. At 16 you officially become a soldier. This is when you start interacting with the gang's economy. You are not allowed to sell drugs directly. Instead you transport packages. One bag is hidden behind a dumpster. You pick it up, walk 3 blocks, knock twice, and deliver it. Your income becomes about $200 a week. For a teenager that feels like a fortune. You buy new shoes, a chain, and for the first time feel power. But with power comes danger. If you are arrested, the gang will not bail you out. You sit in juvenile hall and remain silent. If you talk to police, the consequences follow you even inside prison walls. Besides moving packages, you enforce discipline. If a shopkeeper refuses protection payments, you and your crew destroy the store. If a rival gang enters the neighborhood, you hunt them. This stage transforms young recruits into hardened criminals. At 19 you have spent 5 years in the shadows and recently finished 18 months in jail for assault. You never spoke to investigators. When you are released, the gang celebrates. You have earned your stripes. You are now a veterano, a seasoned member. You no longer perform the hardest tasks. Younger soldiers work under you and pay you a percentage. Your job becomes managing territory, deciding which corner sells which products, and collecting taxes from businesses. If someone under you steals money or disobeys orders, you correct them. Sometimes with words, sometimes with fists, sometimes permanently. Your income rises to $1,500 a week. You have a car, an apartment, and a girlfriend. But now the police know your name. The FBI opens a file on you. And there is no turning back. MS-13 exists everywhere: Los Angeles, Houston, Long Island, and El Salvador. At 24 you have survived longer than most. Shot twice, arrested 6 times, imprisoned twice. You are promoted to palabrero, the leader of a local clique. 30 to 40 soldiers now follow your commands. You control an entire neighborhood. Money flows upward through the organization. You collect from lower members and send a percentage to regional leadership. You organize secret meetings to resolve conflicts. You give orders that decide life and death. If you declare someone greenlighted, that person will not live long. Your income rises to $5,000 to $10,000 a week. You have absolute respect, but also absolute paranoia. Everyone wants your position. Rivals want your head. The FBI forms special task forces dedicated to capturing you. Sleep becomes difficult. A gun stays under your pillow. You move between safe houses and trust no one. At 30 years old, you are already considered ancient in the gang world. Most of your peers are dead or serving life sentences. But you climb even higher to Ranflero, a regional leader. Now the organization functions like a corporation. You rarely appear on the streets. Instead, you manage supply chains and negotiate with major cartels. Money laundering becomes essential. Legitimate businesses, car washes, construction companies, nightclubs, clean the profits. Income reaches $20,000 to $50,000 per week. To neighbors you look like a successful businessman driving a new truck and wearing expensive clothes. But the pressure is enormous. Phones are tapped. Meetings happen face to face with coded language. Internal conflicts erupt between different branches. Finally, the inevitable day arrives. The FBI completes its RICO investigation. You are arrested and face decades in federal prison. But prison is not the end. In many ways, it is where real power begins. Inside maximum security prisons, the organization continues to operate. You become a shot caller. Even behind bars, you control operations on the outside. Messages move through visitors, contraband phones, and hidden networks. Assassinations can be ordered with a single call. Prison becomes your empire, but freedom is gone forever. There is an even higher level reached by very few. The founders and legendary leaders who sit in isolated prisons in Central America. Orders still travel from those cells across borders. Thousands of members obey without question. At 35 years old, after more than 20 years in the organization, you have been shot multiple times, spent years in prison, and watched countless friends die. You earn millions but now sit alone in a broken car outside your mother's house. She is older now. Her eyes are tired from years of worry. "It's not too late," she says. But deep down you know the truth. There is no retirement from this life. You start the car and drive back to the same street corner from 20 years ago. There you see another 14-year-old boy watching you with the same hunger for respect and power. You lower the window and nod. And the cycle begins again. This story is not meant to glorify crime. It is a warning about the illusion of power. Statistics show that most members never reach 40 years old. The system feeds on fear, violence, and loyalty. But it lacks the one element required for real success: human values. If this exploration helped you understand the psychology behind criminal organizations, consider subscribing and joining the next journey into the hidden systems shaping our world.